welcome to Down the Forest Path video blog. This is a series in which we look at the tools used in the Druid tradition, and today I will be looking at the cup, the cauldron and the bowl. We're filming inside today because outdoors it's a little wet, a little bit on the damp side, but it's very good for my garden, not so good for getting in the crops of wheat and barley, but we've got to make do with what we've got. So today I'm going to talk about the cup, the cauldron and the bowl. Now, as vessels that contain liquid, the cup or cauldron or the bowl is used in Druid ritual often as a symbol of transformation. In its earliest form, the cauldron can be seen as linking us directly to the ancestors, where life congregated around the hearth fire, where the cauldron was a symbol of nourishment for the whole family. Within its depths, we can find the transformation through the element of fire. Food could be prepared, heat would be there for the dwelling. The cauldron also links us to the Welsh goddess Cauldron, famed for brewing her special potion of Hoeven in the cauldron of inspiration. As 3 drops accidentally fell on Gwion Bach's finger, the magic transferred to him, and he began his initiation into the mysteries. The Holy Grail is a later version of the cauldron, holding the power of life, death, and rebirth. In actuality, any cup, bowl, chalice, or cauldron is often used in ritual with various intention, such as to hold offerings to the gods, ancestors, or spirits of place. The cup or chalice might also hold the ritual beverage for the ceremony, or it may hold the water used to consecrate within the ritual. The cup or cauldron is often linked to the feminine, associated with the transformative powers of the womb. However, the male god, the Dagda in the Celtic tradition, has a cauldron all of his own from which no man was left unsatisfied. The cauldron itself is honoured in ritual, but we must remember that it's the empty space inside the cauldron that is where the most power lies. We can liken this to seeking integration with the world around us through a deep transformative experience where we can allow our sense of self to dissolve in the emptiness of the cauldron into the world of potential that lies at the heart of the cauldron. Then we're initiated into the deepest of the Druid mysteries. Some have a ritual cup or cauldron used solely for ritual purposes. Others use it as everyday vessels, bringing the sacred and the mundane together. When we see no separation between the sacred and the mundane, we often find a link that connects us all the way back to the ancestors for whom the cauldron was both sacred and used in everyday life. To find your cup, cauldron, bowl, you can go to charity shops, antique shops, second-hand stores, as well as any pagan supplier. Cups and chalices can be beautiful carved wooden creations. They can be of clay, silver, pewter. I've even seen some carved from beautiful stones. Cauldrons are most easily found in brass or in bronze from antique or second-hand stores. This one was originally a planter that my mother gave to me that she'd had for 30-40 years. You can find iron cauldrons in most pagan supply shops as well. What I would suggest is find the material that speaks to you the most. And it also depends on what you plan to do with your cauldron. If it's for burning things, such as offerings, you might want to use iron because that would contain it better, as long as you have a good heat-proof surface. Using the cauldron or the cup in ritual for meditation, we can brew something special. We can meditate on the holding aspects of the cauldron, on the transformative aspects of it. We can also use the cauldron or the bowl to place offerings and also consecrate the sacred space. You may have one vessel for each of these actions, so I use the bowl to consecrate sacred space, I use the cauldron as a symbol of my Lady Bridget, and the cup I use for special ceremonies where I do hand fastings for couples. When out and about in the landscape, if you're doing your ritual outside, it's probably not very practical to be taking a whole set of tools like this with you. So you can often substitute a bowl or a cauldron or a cup with something small, perhaps a seashell. You might also find a place at your special site outdoors that has a hollow, maybe a stone that has a hollow in it, or a tree trunk where the water is held, and that can be substituted as your bowl, and you can use the water in there to perhaps consecrate the ritual to bless the area. The cup, the cauldron, and the bowl. 3 wonderful tools used in the Druid tradition. If you've enjoyed this, please stay tuned for more in our series on Druid Ritual Tools, and I hope to see you next time on Down the Forest Path video blog. Bye for now.